Mr. Biscuit?
Yeah.
Excellent. There's an ant.
There's an ant making its way towards the chocolate malted milks, which are a teaching favourite, I think.
Yeah. We like any biscuit, to be fair, as demonstrated by the way the Garibaldis disappear on an after-school inset.
Oh, no, you don't get anything as cosmopolitan as a Garibaldi.
Well, what are they then? The little ones with the raisins?
The little fruit shortcake.
Have I oversold them by calling them Garibaldi?
You have, yeah. Garibaldi's quite pleasant, but those horrible, I suppose, squashed fly, shorty type. It's those, then the Nice biscuits.
Yeah.
Which I used to call nice, but I don't... Are they...
Yeah, they are. They're Nice biscuits. I don't think they're from Nice.
No, they're not from Nice, are they?
They're French.
They'll be made in a warehouse in Peterborough.
So, Ben, at the time of recording, we got 4 episodes done. Do you fancy doing a 5th one?
Yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure the listeners are absolutely enthralled by us doing a sort of week-by-week countdown of what we've done and sort of almost reviewing what we did last time. But
well, how else are we supposed to fill this?
Well, I suppose so, but I mean, it's going to be a bit tiresome by episode 40, I would have thought.
Well, if we get to episode 40, we can relax.
Okay, let's make that a deal.
All right. So, what have you been up to this week then, Ben?
I'm afraid, again, you ask me this question every week. I should be better prepared. I've got nothing funny to say. I made some toast today.
Do you have anything on the toast?
Cheese.
Was it white bread or brown bread?
I'm afraid it was white. There's nothing healthy where I'm concerned. You were expecting sourdough then, weren't you, or something like that?
Not from you, no. I know you like your white carbs. Was it grilled cheese, or did you just have it...
Yeah, it was grilled.
Grilled.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm terrible in the kitchen, which also leads me to have to confess to you, and this is the truth, I've never taken a packed lunch to school in, 25 years of teaching. So I think we've done the cheese to death. How has your week been?
Well, I went to the theatre, actually.
Really?
Yes, I went to see Peppa Pig live.
Oh, my goodness me.
I need to add in the detail that Peppa wasn't live. She was a puppet. It was. We mainly went for the 4-year-old, just turned 4, my youngest.
So it was a vegan-friendly performance.
Very vegan-friendly. No animals were harmed, or even there. The 4-year-old loved it. Absolutely had a brilliant time. 7-year-old liked it too, but a little bit too cool to admit it. Objectively,
she won't be telling her friends about it.
Won't be telling her friends, but you could see a little smile. Obviously, I found it awful.
It would have been awful.
Dreadful. But you do have to admire the performers. They're all clearly very talented, but they are playing second fiddle to puppets of animated pigs. So as a head of performing arts, what's your take on that as a career choice? Would you rather just give up the dream, or would you do a show like Peppa Pig Live?
I'd like to say that I would hold fast to my principles and, refuse such a gig, but I'm quite sure if they opened their wallet, I probably would do it. But I'm also not a fan of anything like that, any type of show like that. I do like some musicals. I did actually fall into the Hamilton thing. I liked that.
There's a big difference between Hamilton and Peppa Pig Live.
Thank you for clarifying. But I love the Les Miserables, the Boubille and Schumberg musicals, Miss Saigon. I loved all of those things, but not really for the storyline, more the quality of the music.
I don't think you'd have enjoyed Peppa Pig Live. I've actually seen the Big Four this year. Peppa Pig, the latest. I saw Bluey live not so long ago.
I don't know how you do it.
Gabby's Doll's House live, and of course the inimitable Paw Patrol live. So that is the Big Four as far as I'm aware.
Although I have to admit, I took some students to see a pantomime last year that starred Mr. Tumble. Now,
Justin
was not. I really was, and apologies to Justin for this. I was really not looking forward to it on any level. But I have to say the pantomime dame was excellent, and Justin did actually make me laugh on a number of occasions.
I mean, he is a gifted performer. We don't necessarily subscribe to what he does. That is pitched at the 4-year-olds.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a fair enough point.
Although, on that note, both my children have struggled to spot the difference, or rather, they struggle to understand that Justin is the same person as Mr. Tumble.
Right.
Mr. Tumble is Justin with a red nose. And genuinely, both my children have believed him that to be two different people. So, anyway, brilliant. Okay, probably time to get on with the show. So, as ever, time for the register. I'm James, and I feel particularly present this week. But I'm pretty sure we have a Ben here as well. But I had better do the statutory attendance register just to make sure. Ben? Ben? Ben?
Oh, me?
Well, if you are Ben.
Oh, yeah, sir.
Actually, we have both had experiences of that register being taken.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a difficult concept, is it? I do have to explain this to the students. I say, yeah, how it goes, let's say, Harry, is I read the name and you say yes or present or yes, sir, or whatever it is. It needs to be audible.
Yeah, particularly relevant. The detention, we both done a detention duty in our time, and the amount of times you stand there, and there's a room full of a lot of students who've been gifted the C2, otherwise known as the detention, who fail to answer their name and then are marked as not attended because I don't know who they all are, and then will come up to me 3 days later and go, "You didn't mark me in."
Yes.
Well, I didn't see your name then. So,
yeah,
that's how the system works. Anyway, we're on episode 5, and it's quite possible that by the time this airs, we'll actually have some listeners. And if we do, they'll potentially have listened to 4 episodes of us not really dealing with any of the big issues, because we haven't yet. And I'd like to reassure them that we do plan on doing that at some point in the future.
Yes, very much so.
And there are some big issues in secondary education, and we need to be mindful about the stress and anxiety that talking to them might cause both our listeners and ourselves.
Yes.
So I think it's important that before we touch upon them, that we take a little bit of time to think about teacher well-being and our own well-being.
Absolutely.
Because it's very high on the agenda at the moment, teacher well-being.
It is.
You might argue it's lip service, given the workloads and pressures that seem to be ever-present in the profession. But if this podcast can achieve anything, then promoting self-care amongst teachers would be high on my list of priorities. So I've done another deep dive on the internet, and I found a 7-point guide.
Oh, well,
designed.
What would life be without a guide? I mean, I love these guides.
We can't do it on our own. So
No.
I found a 7-point guide designed to help teachers to improve their own well-being.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a website called Education Support. So I mean, we're in safe hands here.
Well, it sounds like, doesn't it?
And the guide is called 7 Ways to Feel Good This School Year. And the subtitle is Avoid Burnout with these 7 evidence-based, readily available strategies for teachers and education staff.
Well, I'm feeling pretty close to burnout, so this is going to be very, very useful. So,
Well, brace yourself for some top wellbeing tips.
okay.
Let's not forget, before we get on with the guidance on wellbeing, that we've got a postcard available this week. This one is simply entitled Marketplace. So what do you make of that?
Well, again, a slightly weird photograph.
Some buildings, essentially.
Some buildings.
I think the focal point's almost the space between the buildings.
Yeah, which has a lamppost in it. and an unsuspecting man just sort of mid-walk, obviously as one would be when a photograph was taken, staring off camera and approaching a lamppost. And it's got on the back, again, I think, Explore Reading, 5 dots. Then it just purely says, as you said already, and sorry to repeat it, Marketplace.
There is no market in the place, just to be clear.
No, and it doesn't. The marketplace is the space in between these buildings, which is not featured in the photograph. Anyway,
Right.
haven't we got an education support guide, 7 ways to feel good, to sort of...
That's right. So we are looking at we're looking at wellbeing, and we're looking at the guidance from the website Education Support, 7 ways to feel good this school year.
Been quite specific on the 7 there, haven't they?
There are 7.
Is this like the sort of opposite to the 7 deadly sins or something?
Nothing deadly about these at all. No, they're life enhancing. They're designed to.
Well,
help
that
you.
would be opposite, wouldn't
It
it?
would be. yes. Yeah. No. I think we've
Yeah.
agreed with each other there without sort of realising it.
Yeah.
Point 1. Point one. Let's get on to point
Point one. I've got the pen out.
So,
what
point
do I
one,
need to do? Point one to improve my well-being.
Move.
What, move house?
No, not about relocation. It's not about moving jobs. It's not about moving out of teaching. It is just about moving around a bit, just moving physically. Because I don't know about you, but I always find teaching to be quite a sedentary job.
Well, not drama teaching, no, but
not,
yours, I think, yeah, very much so.
No. I mean, I was that was. I don't always want to be explicit or signpost the sarcasm, Ben, but that was sarcastic.
I'm sorry, it's too nuanced.
Generally speaking, you would say that teaching is not a profession in which you sit down all day. In fact, we move a lot. If you're doing the job,
I see what you mean. Yes,
properly.
Absolutely. So actually, this is useless advice.
Absolutely. Well, no, it's good advice to move. It's just that I think the vast majority of us already do it,
or certainly should be.
Yes,
in terms of moving around the room and
it's certainly good advice for the teachers that aren't doing it, and it's less about their health and more about just be better at your job.
Does it give any advice on how to move or?
Yeah, anything, just move around.
So a bit of octogenarian chair.
Absolutely fine.
Aerobics.
Anything you like.
Okay. Just keep that blood flowing.
It's not very specific about what kind of movement. It's just any sort of movement is good for you.
Okay.
About 30 minutes a day, which, as I say, if as a teacher you're only moving for 30 minutes a day, you're not actually doing the job properly. So
I'm not sure it's education specific, this, but anyway.
It says it in the title.
Yeah, I know.
7 evidence-based, readily available strategies for teachers and education staff.
Yeah.
These are not aimed at other people. These are aimed at teachers.
I think you're getting a bit irritated there in your delivery because the last time I didn't get that it was sarcastic, and this time you're making sure that I do know.
Potentially, yes. It is from a website called Education Support as well. So let's not... it's for teachers.
Right. Move. Okay.
Number 2, social interest.
Try again.
I'll do my best. Number 2. I don't know if I can. I'm going to try. Social interaction.
Oh, God.
Talk to each other, for goodness sake. Not to the kids, obviously. Talk to your colleagues.
Social interaction.
Yeah.
What particularly... It tickled me as well, but what particularly tickled you about that?
I don't know. Other than I think we just touched upon the fact that number 1 wasn't really teacher specific.
Neither's this. This would apply to old people sitting at home. In fact, it would apply to anybody, wouldn't it?
It's
anybody, anywhere on the planet.
It's good advice, but yes.
Education support guide, this is. Absolutely nothing to do with education. Points 1 and 2, just general medical advice. If it was the NHS saying this, you could understand it, couldn't you? We wouldn't be laughing so much, probably.
It's not.
We wouldn't be laughing at all, actually. If you said this was from the NHS, would you?
No,
is there nothing funny about it?
No,
I wouldn't have laughed when you just said social interaction if they'd have produced it. But the fact that this is education specific, and actually the whole job is about interacting with people all day long. That's the job.
Yes. Let's not dwell on that. Let's move on to point 3.
Yeah.
Remember, point 2 was social interaction.
Yeah.
Point 3.
I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't even know what it is.
Which is more difficult than I thought it would be. I read this last night and I did laugh, but...
not as much as that.
I'm struggling now. I'm trying to share this with you.
This now won't be funny.
Okay. No, so point 2...
It was social interaction.
Social interaction.
Don't forget.
Point 3...
Education support guide is...
I can't say it.
I've just killed an ant. I've got so excited.
Point... I'm sure a bit of laughter.
Come on, it's not. That can't be that funny. Education support.
I can't read it.
Education support. I haven't seen. Connect with others.
How is that
What the hell do they think social interaction is?
Well, that's why I've struggled, really. So point 3.
It's not as funny as that, but actually, it is, isn't it? Really, It's ridiculous.
To me, that's the same.
I mean, if you looked up now, we haven't got a computer, but if you typed social interaction, it would say connecting with other people.
It's absolutely the same. So connect with others.
Right. Can you go on and give us...
Now, I mean, on the website, it does talk about hugging.
Hugging!
Which...
Not the students, for God's sake. The police will be turning up.
I'm not even sure that colleagues would welcome that.
No. No.
So, yeah. So, point 3, connect with others. Obviously, completely different to social interaction.
Oh, dear.
Does talk about hugging on the website, but that does seem to be advice beset with potential problems.
Again, nothing to do with education.
Absolutely not. In fact, I would argue if hugging's the advice, keep it out of education.
Absolutely.
So
keep the hugging out of it.
Point 4, and I'm going to try and compose myself, but this has proven, of all the lists I've gone through, this has proven the most challenging.
Yeah.
Point 3.
No, 4.
4.
Don't read 3 out again and we'll be back round to square one again.
Right. I'm not sure point 4 is going to... Okay, it is a different point.
Yeah.
Point 4 is different to points 2 and 3, which were the same.
Yes!
Point 4 is... breathe.
Oh my God! It actually just says that as one
It
word.
does. Now, so they're all titles, and then there's a little bit of a extra
Yeah, but the
information.
marketeers have been on this again, haven't they?
So breathe. Now, I'd say we all do that because otherwise we die.
You shouldn't need to be encouraged to do it, should you?
No, they're talking about doing special breathing exercises, and that's obviously working in a school. That's easy to find time to do that. I like to do it when I'm covering a Year 10 English lesson.
Move, social interaction, connect with others, breathe. In at 5,
sleep.
Nothing to do with education again.
In fact, I would argue you shouldn't sleep at school.
Absolutely not. Well, there are 1 or 2 teachers we've come across who do.
It's not unheard of, but
Aren't they? Yeah.
No, so sleep, I presume they mean do that at home. As if we're forgetting to go to sleep. If we're not sleeping, it's because of stress, anxiety, workload, or people like me who have kids, frankly, that they get in the way sometimes too. I
mean, teacher burnout is now being tackled the modern way with a mindfulness colouring sheet and absolutely no reduction in workload.
That's the size of it. Anyway, it's all right. It's all right, because point 6 is here to save us.
Oh, good. And well, they've got 2 points to redeem themselves in, and I hope these are going to be education-specific. So obviously... Because this is the education support guide.
A brief title with a little bit of extra information, but the title, point 6, the one word to sum it up is cry.
Well... in the early days, there's a lot of that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, nothing gains the respect of Year 9 Set 5 than having a good old cry in front of them, does it? But
oh, yeah. I mean, that would help you no end in the classroom, wouldn't it? Because I always find if you have a good cry in front of the students, their respect for you just grows.
It just goes through the roof,
and
doesn't
next time, you'll find it at least 10 times harder.
Yes. I have known over the years, and I'm sure you have too, I've known a lot of colleagues to embrace the strategy of crying. I used to worry about them, but now I know they've just taken affirmative action to manage their own well-being. I can rest easy and just ignore them when I see that. So that's good news for me and for them, because the crying apparently is actually them.
Goodness me.
Using one of the 7 ways to feel good about themselves.
Cry.
Well, we've only heard 6. Perhaps number 7.
Yeah. Well, it's all hanging on this.
Get creative.
The great thing about teacher well-being is it's the only crisis in Britain where the official response is, have you considered gratitude?
That's not on the 7 points, but yes.
Or breathing, or sleeping, or crying.
Do you know what they did miss out there, though? They've
included, or getting creative.
They've included crying. They haven't included laughing.
No, to me, that is the absolute key. If you're going to do a general well-being thing, laughter is...
And if you can't laugh in teaching, then...
Well...
Yeah, you really are in trouble. So, anyway, that's the 7-point guide. I can see you're already feeling better about things.
Well, I mean, never mind over to me. I mean, I think we've started tackling this together, haven't we? I mean, move. I don't want to repeat myself, but I'm going to repeat myself. If this guide had been about any aspect of well-being, although I actually think a lot of it is bloody obvious or silly, I would still have accepted it as a sort of health guide. This has absolutely nothing to do with education whatsoever. There's nothing specifically related to education here. How is this going to help people to feel good in their job, specifically in teaching role?
It's a good question. I don't have an answer to that because, obviously when I look for these things, I am looking for things that we can easily make fun of. Ultimately, I didn't have to try too hard to find this.
Yeah, I mean, but the whole thing of teacher wellbeing is an extremely important thing. It's a stressful job. It's a challenging job, as we've discussed before. It's not 9 till 3, 5 days a week and 7 weeks off in the summer. It absolutely is not. If you're doing the job properly, it is not. But I do remember my first introduction to staff wellbeing came from an SLT member in a previous school who sent an email entitled "Looking After Yourselves" at 10:48 on a Friday evening. So I think there's a lot of stuff being said to teachers by the government that is both patronising and generally unhelpful, I would say, and not actually meant.
No, I mean, well, as I say, I think like all of the advice that we've looked at over the last 5 weeks, this stuff isn't, I'm not making this up, this stuff is pitched at people who work in schools. It's aimed at people who work in schools, and it's essentially saying, we think you're idiots.
Nothing to me says we care more than a wellbeing page with 14 clicks to find advice like, have you tried having a nice cup of tea? This sort of stuff. This is exactly the same sort of stuff.
And, I actually do think, and I've experienced sort of, real examples of people caring about staff wellbeing. And it's much more kind of person-centred and actually a colleague being aware that you're not having a particularly good day and just taking a few minutes to check. Because that means quite a lot because they've noticed that you're not feeling okay. And actually, they're probably busy and stressed, and the fact they've taken time out of their day to check on you, that means something. That makes a difference.
Yeah. But I've worked at schools that love talking about staff wellbeing and then arrange a sort of inset on resilience during the lunch break. I don't know where to start, really. As if staff are sort of sitting around saying, I don't want less marking, I don't want less data or fewer meetings. What I want is a pastel infographic that reminds me to notice clouds more. This kind of thing. It's just... And I'm not anti-wellbeing, by the way, and I'm not anti-mindfulness.
No, well, I think that's the point you made, is that these are all, I mean, this is a very banal list of things that are patently obvious, but they're all things that absolutely are, I mean, apart from the fact that point 2 and point 3 are exactly the same point. I don't understand the difference between social interaction and connecting with others. I think that's the same thing. But they're things that make sense if you want to. The thing that it doesn't account for is, where do you find the time to do these things? Where do you find the time for a 10-minute breathing exercise? Because I don't have those 10 minutes available, actually. And if I did, I'm going to have a coffee, if I'm honest with you, which is probably not good for my well-being, but actually in the short term makes me feel a lot better.
Of course. Who doesn't want coffee and cake?
No. And in fact, what happens is when there is cake in schools, we have cake's bad for us.
That improves well-being, doesn't it?
But the cake is in the staff room and all the staff turn up and have the cake and then we have a chat. So that's actually quite nice.
And most of these wellbeing resources are not written by teachers for teachers, as we can see here.
No, was that even written by a person?
I don't know.
I mean, I'd feel a lot better if I knew that was written by AI.
I genuinely believe, you've got to believe, haven't you? If you're a senior leader, I'm not one at the moment, but I have been, that the teachers are the most important resource. The most important people in the school are the students, right? And that is often forgotten with all this student-centred discussions that never seem to involve a student. They're never anywhere near the room. Staff are the greatest asset. That's what I'm saying.
And we need to protect that resource.
That's right.
For a school to function well. Well, this is often missed, isn't it? That, if a staff member isn't feeling well, the impact will be not just on the students, that member of staff teachers, but on all the colleagues that work with that member of staff. The impact can be quite big. And actually, sometimes it doesn't take a lot to make that member of staff feel better, feel more able to manage their workload. Like the general advice, talking to people, except that's all fine, and actually having an outlet to do that. And when we do have that here, and that's really good. But there's lots of really good things happening for wellbeing, but none of it's on that list. Essentially, I do see teachers supporting other teachers. I do see that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
But that's not what that list is.
I did work for a head teacher once who stood up in a staff briefing and said, "I don't give a expletive about staff wellbeing. Stop talking about staff well-being. I'm interested in outcomes."
Well, we've definitely, that world has existed in education. It may still exist in some institutions.
But that's kind of like the beatings will continue until staff morale improves.
Yeah.
What's that? But if you can sort staff well-being out, the outcomes will be better.
Well, yeah, but what you're referring to, that outcomes first mentality and staff well-being comes second, that does go back to Michael Wilshaw, doesn't it?
Give me outcomes.
Yeah, and staff leaving that comment, the staff leaving the car park at 3:30. You have to be on site when the students are here. Of course you do. That's quite important. Once the students have left the building, you can work from home, and sometimes people work better from home. I don't personally. I tend to stick around, mainly to have a chat with you, in fairness.
Well, that's very kind of you. I've just looked at a comment on one of these websites from a teacher saying, on one of these teacher support websites that gives nothing apart from these pastel platitudes, if I may call them that. And it says, "I clicked on a teacher support site hoping for rescue. What I got was the digital equivalent of somebody rubbing my shoulder while the building burned down."
Yes, that's what this is. So, having gone through those 7 points, Ben, and we've discussed them at length, how are you going to make sure that you take care of your well-being and that of your colleagues moving forwards?
I'm going to do exactly what I normally do, and I don't think I'm going to take any notice of anything, mainly because I'm moving, socially interacting, already connecting with others. I do breathe almost every sort of few seconds.
And that's good that you do that.
I do go to sleep. I try not to cry. I try to do more laughing than crying, and I'm creative all the time. So actually, thanks, but no thanks to the Education Support Guide.
You're doing really well then. I mean, my take again is that I will continue to respire, just as a general matter of principle, really.
Yes.
I like you. I'm going to avoid the crying, try and do some laughing.
Yeah, and don't do the hugging, will you?
If our listeners want to laugh, then they could do worse than tuning into next week's episode.
They absolutely could.
They might not be laughing with us, but listening to two men trying to survive a midlife crisis by continuing to make a podcast might at least allow them to laugh at us.
Yeah, and I'll take that for now.
I'll definitely take that. So until next week then.
All the best.
Bye-bye.